What is Svastha? The word Swa means self and Stha means to stay as myself. The word Svastha denotes a state of balance, health and well-being in both yoga as well as Ayurveda.
In fact, this is the first word we learn when studying Ayurveda. The goal of Ayurveda is to take us to this state of Svastha. The doshas, body qualities and functions, are in balance. Dhatus, the body tissues, are in balance. Agni, metabolism, is in balance. Excretion or elimination is proceeding normally. The mind and senses are bright and clear. That state is Svastha. Sounds good.
Certainly. It is also the word that is used in the Yoga Sutras by Patanjali when he describes the state of remaining as yourself, the ultimate goal of yoga in one sense. That I am pure awareness, I am pure consciousness, and I remain with that experience. The word used there is also Svastha.
When the mind is still, what remains is pure awareness, and that is my deepest true nature, my permanent nature, to be as myself. So both in yoga and Ayurveda, this is the key word, the state that we are moving towards. And that's why we say yoga for Svastha. It's not about Svastha yoga, you have to do yoga this way. Are we doing yoga in a way that leads us to this state of Svastha? Only then it is yoga.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you. Our father met Krishnamacharya in 1971 and started studying with him that year. That was the same year our mother and father got married. So they have been on this journey together all these years.
Krishnamacharya's teachings were always about yoga for the individual, that for the student, whatever the practice is.
Right? Whatever the practices, as you were saying, are relevant to each student, that is the yoga for that student.
Which I think was also why for a very long time he himself didn't really have a label for his kind of
brand
teaching.
or label for what he was teaching. It was just yoga.
Neither did we, honestly, right? I mean, when we were practicing as children, we didn't really have a name to say what kind or style of yoga we practiced.
Exactly, and this is why when my parents in the 1990s, after Krishnamacharya passed away, were continuing to teach, initially they did not give the yoga that they were teaching any kind of brand or label, no name, it was just yoga.
My father was even like, why do we even need a name? Will yoga not suffice?
And then gradually, when the yoga market exploded and more people began practicing, you needed some identification for people to know, okay, this is what we are doing. And so some name had to be chosen. So it was with some reluctance that a name was given to what we are doing as yoga. And that was this word, Svastha.
Because my father kind of wanted to try and represent the principles of the teaching through the name rather than just giving it a name.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Krishnamacharya's point was that yoga needs to be made relevant to each student. But relevant to each student in what way? What is the yoga doing for them?
It should lead them to Svastha.
A state of complete health and well-being, to be present as themselves with inner peace. That word Svastha is the key in Ayurveda and in yoga, a state of complete health and well-being and inner presence, stillness and calmness. When we say Svastha Yoga, this label, it's not actually about doing yoga in a style, that this is how you must do the asanas, this is how you must do the pranayama, because that was not actually foundationally Krishnamacharya's message itself.
It is about understanding how I should do it in such a way that leads me to a state of Svastha, to my state of Svastha.
That is so important, my state of Svastha, right, for each one of us. That is why we have this written here. When we say this Svastha Yoga, It might be a little misleading in one sense. It appears that it is a certain way of doing yoga that is fixed. It's not like that. It is yoga for Svastha, for each person. And that is actually the foundation of traditional classical yoga itself. The 8 limbs of yoga are present in each one of our practices in the way we do them at different stages in our life, in different ways. We do different practices to different degrees at different times in our life, but there is an underlying thread in classical yoga.
That I continually ask myself whether all the practices that I'm doing, whether with body, breath or mind, I continually ask myself, is this leading me to better health and well-being? Is it leading me towards more Svastha?
And that in a nutshell is Svastha Yoga.
Thank you.
Thank you.